discrimination should stop. Let's come together and fight this insanity, cause in the end, we'll win. There is hope, there is hope. Don't despair because there is hope. She'll overcome, she'll overcome, she'll overcome. Yeah. This phobia they have towards us. If we come together and fight for our rights, we shall overcome. Cause there is hope. My dear comrades, never give up the fight. Never give up the fight. Never lose faith in what you've got. Yeah. Fight and fight for what belongs to you. And we'll continue by. And we realize we are here to stay. We are here to stay. And we are never going back. Never going back. We're growing stronger each and every moment. Yeah, there is hope. There is hope. There is hope. Don't despair because there is hope. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. This phobia they have towards us. If we come together and fight for our rights, we shall overcome. There is hope.
Yo, listen to me now, cause you know I got hope. See what I do, I ain't never gonna stop. I let nobody pull me with a rope. If you're trying to put me down, oh, I say no. I believe in myself, I don't let myself down. Let me be me, that's who I am. I stand strong, the yarn is too long. I keep moving, cause I got.
Alright friends, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. For those of you who have just arrived, my name is Victor Mukasa, and this is part of the Victor Mukasa show. And it is going to be a moment where I offer my my space online, offer my profile to give voice to LGBT refugees in Kakuma Camp, where they have been attacked numerous times, where they have called for support and protection, and where all that has not yet been realized. It's so many calls to the UNHCR. Refugees are still in the camp, still living in fear, still sleeping outside on B13. That's a section in the camp. So I request you, all of you who are just arriving, as you come in, please share this video with your friends, with your networks, and in about a couple of minutes, we will start with updates from Kakuma Camp on Block 13, where the LGBTQ plus refugees are at. And then we will give you updates on interventions or not interventions so far. So please invite your friends. Just do that sharing thing and call your friends so that we start. And enjoy Brian Nkoyoyo, Brio Bryans from Uganda. An activist who does his social justice through music. This song is called There Is Hope.
And nothing can stop us right now, yeah.
My dear brothers and sisters, discrimination should stop. Let's come together and fight this insanity, cause in the end, we'll win.
There is hope, hope, there is hope. are
we shall
who
overcome.
we shall overcome.
We shall overcome. This phobia they have towards us.
If
We
we
come together.
and fight for our rights, we shall overcome. 'Cause there is hope.
My dear comrades, never give up the fight.
Don't give up the fight.
Never lose faith in what you've got.
Lose the hope.
Fight and fight for what belongs to you.
Aluta continua. Yes, Aluta continua. Thank you so much, Brio Bryans, for this music that you have given to us that actually, keeps on amplifying the voice of the queer world. I welcome you all. I see you friends from Kakuma Camp. I am happy to have you here today. And for all of you who have just arrived, for those who do not know, these have been a series of live shows highlighting the plight of LGBTQ refugees in Kakuma Camp, on Block 13 in Kakuma Camp, who have been who have been facing constant, violent, brutal attacks. Today we shall not show any of those pictures, but you can find those pictures on my Facebook page and across social media and in news reports that are beginning to come out now. I would like to tell you that we have about 138 LGBTQ refugees over there, plus their allies. We have children among them, the youngest being 2 months old, who is actually very, very sick, I've been told. Most likely, we are still going to hospital, but the fact that they report that she sleeps outside, she could be catching pneumonia. But we are taking care of that. But this is the reality. You see pictures of people being sliced. This is what we call it, sliced, because they look like they've been sliced. Bleeding, their heads. We have x-rays of heads that have cracked from pictures that have come from the camp. And we started a campaign here where we urged you all to write to the UNHCR, urging them to evacuate the LGBTQ refugees at Block 13 in Kakuma Camp out of that camp, because the camp is clearly not ready for LGBT refugees. We've had these attacks since 2015, and they still happen, and with minimum intervention, really. We've written to the UNHCR. I have forwarded them a report that I have generated from information that LGBTQ refugees have sent to me. From that information, human rights organizations are getting on board on checking what the UNHCR is doing about what we are reporting. There's little belief about what is happening to these refugees, because they have been told by other parties that these refugees are actually slicing themselves, for example, cracking their heads, for example, beating them each other up, for example, because it is said that the people reporting to the UNHCR and other entities say that the refugees think this is what will expedite their processes, which I do not believe, that somebody can crack their head just to leave Kenya. Somebody will crack their head, their skull. We have scans where a skull was cracked and limbs broken, legs, where people have been raped brutally in the, I'm sorry to say, but behind in their anal area, in their anal, they've brutally anally raped them, and they have not got the proper treatment. You hear that they're getting treatment, I don't know where they are flying it out of, but there are people who are having pus coming out of their behinds. There are people who have been having pus coming out of their heads, but we have managed to take them for proper treatment, even if the UNHCR claims that they have provided that treatment to them. We were able to work with you all, those of you who have been helpful to provide, to give funding. who have sent me money. I have raised about 1,800, about 2,000, maybe $400 so far, and that has helped to take people to the hospital, to a mission hospital. As of yesterday, we had 49 cases that so far that had been treated since June, the June attacks, the June 19 attacks, and today we had 13 or 14. We will hear the briefs from Kakuma Camp. I think we are now probably shooting the 60s. 60 people have been taken to the hospital in the last probably 8 days. And thank you to all those and those who have contributed to that 2,000 probably and $400. The last contribution was of $500 from the Jacob Robishaw Gallery in New York. Thank you so much, Jacob Robishaw Gallery in New York, connected to us by Babidi Reida. They gave us $500 that has helped a lot, and actually is what was used to take people to hospital today. We have had another donation from Mali, from Canada, who has sent us 2 donations, each of $200. That means $400. And that is what we have. In fact, we are looking at opening a GoFundMe page. The refugees have asked me to open a GoFundMe page, but I will have them talk to you about it. Still, to cater for their food, we still need beddings because people are still sleeping outside. They lost a lot of property during the raids. We still have people who need treatment. We have people who have illnesses from other sources, not the attacks, but because of the way they are treated at this hospital that you hear, Clinic 6, where they have documented it very well, even if some entities say they are treated so well. The refugees report that the treatment there is of homophobia and transphobia, of disgust and of humiliation. So even if somebody just has malaria, they're afraid of really going there because of what is likely to happen. Even if they are not beaten there, the humiliation there, they cannot face anymore. So we need your help, and we need your help continuing to call on the UNHCR to evacuate them from Block 13, Kakuma Camp, out of the camp to safety. It is still needed. Let me tell you something. Guys, what you do will work, will eventually pay off. And for human rights organizations out there, we ask you to listen to the refugees. We ask you to listen to both sides. A side is saying the refugees are murdering themselves, but the refugees are saying they're being attacked, and we have footage of even other refugees who have attacked them, walking around freely in the camp with machetes. So we are asking you, honorable human rights organizations, if what is delaying you to join this fight in our country, in Uganda, in my tribe in particular, we have a saying that says, do not make a judgment of a case before you listen to both sides. No matter how high profile the first reporter is, no matter how low the other person is, listen to both of them. Explore the evidence that we are sending to you. Use your resources, please, to confirm those documents that we are sending around. The stories, the testimonies of the LGBTQ refugees themselves on Block 13 in Kakuma Camp. We implore you, all of you who are in those, who have the privilege to serve in those resource organizations, massed organizations, speak out. But if you can't speak out because you want to first be sure, examine, explore. Reach out to the refugees. They are accessible. Some entities have said that they are lying. They do not even have police reports and all that. And I have just submitted more than, a whole lot of police reports to the UNHCR. And I want the UNHCR to say they are fake. But in order for that to be found out, investigation needs to happen. And we implore all human rights organizations to please help. Otherwise, we are going to have a situation in Kakuma that we will never forget. Those who haven't seen the pictures and footage, please go to my Facebook page, watch my previous lives, watch the videos, go to the Facebook pages of these refugees and look at them. Again, I thank all of you who have worked with us. I thank all the first responders, the counselors who have come in and have helped us and are waking up every morning to provide counseling to these friends of ours on Block 13 who are clearly traumatized. They are children who are watching all this happening. They are traumatized. We have therapists and counselors who are doing this work. We need these people to be evacuated out of that camp before we have bodies fallen, because they're already dead. Many of them are already dead upstairs. They're going insane. We have people who, whose vision will never be the same. We have people whose reproductive systems will never be the same. They are people whose limbs will never get back, no matter what. So please, UNHCR, we still beg you. We call out to you to evacuate these people from the camp. I have provided this profile of mine for them, and I am asking you, Doreen, Wava from the camp, to send in your request so that you get to our followers. And as they come online, I still implore human rights organizations that have had a story from one side that these refugees are actually killing themselves. We ask you to look into their issue and listen to them and respect them and take them as human beings who have friends in Kakuma.
Yes, hello.
Yes, Benon. Yes, guys. Hi.
Yes, doing great. How are you?
I'm so glad to see you and to see you alive, even if things are not so good.
Yeah, we understand. We just try to cope up, and you have to show that what's going on.
I'm so happy.
Hello.
So, I've been updating people about what is happening so far. I've let them know that there's no known intervention from the UNHCR.
True.
Is that true?
Mm.
Has the UNHCR been at the camp? Have they called you guys? Have they brought in special security? Have they attempted to evacuate you?
Hello, Victor.
Yes, hi.
We have not seen any interventions or even the impression that something might happen. It's like UNHCR left the land, or they are quarantined somewhere because of Corona. It's very confusing at the very moment. It's very, very confusing. Even the simplest of interventions, we haven't seen any.
Yes, please go on.
There has been nothing that has been heard or said from UNHCR. We continue to live in the same block. We continue to see our tormentors, and we continue to sleep outside. It is a very, very big ask of pregnant women, sick people, little children. It is a very, very big toll on our lives. Our belief in any interventions coming from UNHCR continues to dim. Unless somebody out there maybe implores them or urges them into action, there is nothing at the moment.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that update. How are the people with injuries right now? How are they doing? I know that you have some intervention from the mission hospital over there, but how are people doing?
Well, treatment makes a difference. For the minor cases, yes, they are responding fantastically well. But we have a lot of major cases. You are aware that we have cracked skulls, we have fractured bones, we have dislocated joints. Most of these are referrals and require a major hospital.
Yeah.
They need a lot of expertise. We don't have expatriates here. And we also don't have the facilities in Kakuma to deal with these kinds of serious cases. They are giving relief, but it is superficial because they can only deal with the minor cases.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
And do we have any nurses with
Please
you
go.
there?
Oh, yes, we do have a nurse here.
Yes. Is that Joan? Susan? Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for what you're doing for our friends in Kakuma Camp. She's a nurse herself and a refugee, LGBT refugee still on block 13 that is actually helping her friends together with others. Yes, please. Any updates for us regarding the situation? Regarding the situation of the patients?
Okay, what I can say,
Yeah.
like our patients,
Yes.
some are getting well
Yes.
and some need more care about them. Because some patients of ours we are having, yes, we go to the hospital, a private hospital, whereby some of them they need a referral. Like
Yes.
someone having a problem on the brain, but they cannot give that person a referral because we cannot move from Kakuma to any other place. So what
Yes.
I can say, our patients, some of them live about these cases like I'm feeling headache, what and what, but others are having serious problems and they need more care. Some of them they need operation, but
Those problems
other
are actually from the attacks.
yeah,
They were by operating zone by them.
Okay.
but they have operated only one person.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Susan?
This is
Smile.
I'm called Nambiru Siama.
There's Shama and there's Susan and there's Joanne. Thank you so much, you and your team, for being there for your friends. Friends, does anybody else have anything to say? Do you have a call to the UNHCR? Anybody else before we bring on other people?
yeah.
Yes, Victor, we do.
Yeah. Yes.
From the 19th, the time that we were attacked here, where we had a major attack. Of course, we've been attacked throughout. But
Yes.
from the 19th, when we had a very massive attack, police increased their presence immediately after the attack.
Yes.
But that has not stopped the attacks from going on. Now, if the attacks can go on with police presence, it shows you the determination of the homophobic environment.
Yes.
The people around us are so bent on getting rid of us that they will maneuver, they will circumnavigate the presence of police and hurt us. And as I speak, the police presence is reducing. You have a few of them come up, leave you with their phone number. There was one who even asked us today, what time do the attackers normally come? So he can go and do other things. And then now, if that is the intervention, let me assume it's an intervention from UNHCR. Frankly, that falls way below. We need to get out of Kakuma before a major catastrophe happens here. There is an opportunity to save lives. We don't want to put our hands on the head later and say we could have saved them. Now is the time. Corona can no longer be an excuse.
Yeah.
Corona is being handled around the world. People can be moved safely. But even then with Corona, UNHCR has the expertise and has the resources to be able to move personnel in danger at such a time. We raise our voices again and call on the UNHCR. Please take us to safety. Get out of danger.
Thank you so much. We will. Thank you.
Gil.
That is the call, and everybody out there, that is the call to the UNHCR from our friends in Kakuma Camp Block 13. Please amplify their voice. Human rights organizations out there, you have heard. Those who are not here, friends, send them emails. You know the organizations that you can talk to in your regions. Send them emails and ask them to intervene in talking to the UNHCR. Now, I just have one more question from the leadership in Kakuma. In terms of resources, I know that you still need the support that I have been sending, and I would like you to make a call to the people listening to us and those who will listen later regarding yes, Bashir.
Yes, how are you, Victor?
Yes, hi. Thank you so much for what you do. Bashir is one of the leaders in the camp.
Yeah, Victor, thank you for appreciating that. But indeed, we are in a big trouble here. Because there are some people here have been injured badly. You go talk to the doctor, he says, you people, you are refugees, you cannot be given movement pass from this place to another place. But if you go on with this, these people are going to die from here. You look anywhere, Dorina has fought to go and look for that movement pass. At least some people go to be taken. There's a place called Lodwa. There are some bigger hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
But financially here, we are many numbers. We are many in numbers here.
Mm.
And also the resources here, they are scarce. They are not, you cannot find even water. It's not easy to get here. Food, there are some people who are sick. We have some people who are HIV positives. We have some people who are being operated before. There are some kids who are sleeping outside. There are people who have diabetes, special dieties. So all those, they're all affecting us here in Block 13. Victor, is a big, big thing that anyone can't imagine what's happening here in Block 13. So that's all I can say for now. Thank you, Victor.
How many people have you taken to the hospital so far?
So far, there are 62.
62 since the attacks, and you still need to take more people to the hospital.
Right.
Our resources are going so low. I have collected just above 2,000 US dollars, about 2,400. I'm not yet sure. That has been facilitating you guys with hospital and food and first aid materials and communication. I think that the need now is even growing bigger, that the UNHCR has not yet intervened. We have talked with you, the leadership, about a GoFundMe page. Could you please ask people to contribute to your relief fund that we'll be setting up this evening?
Everyone who wants to know the proof, whether we need that GoFund, he can find you, he can go to your page and at least see the life you are passing through here in Block 13. Indeed, we need that GoFund. Indeed, we need that GoFund.
Okay. So friends in Kakuma, I am going to open up that GoFundMe page for you, for people who can, collect those resources. The ones who have been collecting resources from me are kind of running dry, and we need more people to come and help us in order to help at the camp. So if you have a last word, I will let you go and then call Purity to come in, and then one of the counselors to update us on the work that they're doing with you guys. I could just say, we love you. We love you, friends from Kakuma. Please keep safe tonight. We hope that you do not get attacked this night. You have heard that a policeman came today and asked them, at what time do you usually get the attacks? And the reason the policeman was asking, this is now the intervention. The policeman was asking so that he can go back maybe to his house or something else and come back at the time that the refugees tell him what time they might be attacked. What time do you usually get attacked? This is the reality in Kakuma. Somebody says that they are lying. Can you hold that refugee who has made that report accountable for their words? Responsible for their words? They know that there are consequences. Now somebody comes on a live show and tells us that the policeman says that they are ready to stand for their word. And then you say they are lying about it. Purity, come in and feels I will be calling you as one of the counselors that are talking to our friends on Block 13 in Kakuma Camp. Purity is here, and Purity is one of the activists in Nairobi. Purity is not doing well. Purity lost her father over the weekend, and just yesterday, I've lost days. I don't know whether it's morning or evening because it's work throughout, but I think it was yesterday. Purity had a big fall in her shower, in her bathroom, and hit her head. She has a concussion, and I know that we still need some resources to take her to have her CT scans. I think she will tell us, but she has something to say on this show. It is yours, Purity. My page is for you guys.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether my voice is really loud enough.
It's loud enough. It's good.
I don't feel so well because I fell in my bathroom and then I had to hit down my head. So I got a concussion. I don't know the word very well, but I'm an activist and I am a refugee and I am an LGBTQ refugee and I am a transgender and I'm a transgender activist. So many times I ask myself why some people don't see what is happening in Kakuma. Because I don't feel well, I had to dress up. This is not the kind of dress actually I wanted to dress up with because I feel even cold, but I wanted to be here. But I ask myself, what is the world doing? And what hurts me is that sometimes we are taken as people who do not have an education. Refugees have a name. The word refugee has to go with you everywhere you go, and it has a negative impact. In that, even when you go into those meetings, somebody from outside there would be given more attention than you who is a refugee, because we are taken as people who do not have nothing.
Yeah.
And we ran away from nothing and we have nothing. But I need to tell the world that we ran away from so much and we are something. We chose us. I chose me as Purity. All these wounds, all this, I mean, I just lost my father. I fell in a bathroom trying to run away from my insecurities to get to safety. I go take a shower and I have a concussion on my head, and I took it lightly because I am a refugee. So somebody wouldn't understand. And that's what the world doesn't understand, that refugees run away from so much, yet they just chose to be who they are. I ran away from my job. I actually still have my NSSF card, National Social Security card. I have it in my room. I can actually produce it. Meaning that I even have money lying idle in Uganda for my retirement.
Yeah.
But probably I might never get it, and I'm still facing this kind of life. And so every time refugees are reporting on what happens in their lives, people think that, okay, these are people who don't have an education. No, no. And I can repeat this. We have an education. I have 2 degrees, and I always say it. And it's not only 2 degrees. I had an occupation. I'm a social worker by profession, and I'm a monitoring and evaluation specialist as well, meaning that I'm a social worker, I'm an M&E specialist, but I can't practice it anywhere because I'm a refugee. And people feel like you are a refugee, there is nothing you can call so much. And so I would love to tell the entire world that, you know, what is happening in Kakuma and all those wounds you're seeing, people suffering that much, isn't because they chose to have that as a life. They lost almost everything the world would call prestige or
All right, it looks like Purity's connection has been interrupted, but it is very clear what Purity is saying. We all need to remember that refugee is a status. It's just a status. It's just a status, and that even as we work to engage ourselves in supporting LGBT refugees or any other refugees out there, we should not be looking at status, where they have gone, and I don't know where they have been, what they have studied. It's human beings from diverse backgrounds that are in some kind of danger and that need protection in a home away from their home. But it's no longer home for LGBT refugees in Kakuma Camp. Block 13 in Kakuma Camp needs to be evacuated to safety because, in reality, we could lose a human body there. We know we have lost souls and spirits and minds already. We cannot say things are okay. And please continue to call out to the UNHCR, pleading for their evacuation from that horrible place, which is not yet ready for LGBT refugees. Please write to human rights organizations across the world and ask them to intervene. And human rights organizations out there, plus the UNHCR, we know that you have had a story which we all know where it's coming from, that these refugees are lying, that they're actually slicing themselves, that they're actually cracking their skulls, that they're actually, probably you also said that they're also telling you they're raping themselves brutally. We ask you to listen to the refugees. They know the names, faces of their perpetrators. They see them every day. They know who has raped who. They know who has sliced who. They have not been helped. They are still in danger. A policeman has come today, you have heard, asking, when do you expect to be attacked? So that I can come back at that time and protect you. How can they know when they, how even a policeman knows there is a time that they are attacked? And that's the intervention that we have. That is the level of protection that we have right now for the refugees on Block 13 in Kakuma Camp. You have had a story, get another story, and then make that judgment, because it is clear that in order to help these refugees, save them from all the wounds and the attacks that they're having, somebody needs to believe them. Somebody in a position of power, somebody in a position of privilege to serve has to believe them. And we are asking you, somebody who are in that privilege to serve, to please do something about these investigations that you need to take. We have sent you the stories, the testimonies of these refugees. They are willing to stand by that word. If you're using justice, investigate them. That is what they have said to us. Investigate. Let's get done with it and save their lives. No matter what they have done in life, they do not deserve to be raped. They do not deserve to be cut and sliced like apples. They do not deserve to be caned. They do not deserve to be beaten up by others. They do not deserve it. In fact, no human being deserves that. The right to life is a basic human right. The right to protection of our bodies, selves, and our property is a basic human right when you look at all the declarations, all constitutions. It is a basic human right. Let us uphold human rights, protect them, and defend them. And yes, where there are human rights, there is responsibility. People should stand and be held accountable and responsible for what they have done. But they still have a right to life. They have a right to protection. And I think that the concerned privileged bodies, institutions, and human individuals already have the reports from the refugees. Why is it that? Why is it, friends who are listening to me, please help me. June 19th was the biggest attack. That is not to say there were no attacks before. That was the most severe, horrible attack on Block 13, Kakuma Camp. The refugees are telling you today, they said it themselves, that they have not been approached by the UNHCR to hear their story. But the UNHCR already has a story that they have believed from somebody who is not in the camp, or from parties that are not in the camp. What do we have to say there? What should we say? That people in the camp who were attacked have not been asked questions. They have not been visited by the UNHCR. They have not been interrogated about what happened. They have not been, nobody has taken their story. And yet their story is already at the UNHCR, with somebody who does not live in the camp reporting that the refugees are doing this to themselves. Seriously? The UNHCR has police reports, it has medical records, it has everything. And all they need to do is to prove us wrong, to prove these refugees wrong. Please, UNHCR, we ask you to intervene, save lives, and everybody will stand for their part in this. Will be held accountable for their part in this. There was a therapist here, one of the counselors that is actually reaching out to the refugees. We have a
Hello.
team of past.
Hi.
Phil, yes, Phil, how are you?
So my name is Phyllis, and a very good evening to all the people in Kakuma and the people that I just wanted. Hello.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Yes, hello.
Yes, we hear you very. We hear you, Phil. Once again, Phyllis is one of, please, Phyllis, kindly send your request again. It's very important that we hear from you. Once again, I told you that we have a group of first responders. Some of them are from you who have been following this story. Counselors from across the world who are offering free services to the refugees in Kakuma. We have a schedule every day, and they come and pick one of them and talk to them over video for video counseling. And Phyllis is one of them and would like to just share their experience. Phyllis, I will invite you one more time. If we are not able to, friends in Kakuma, I see that you would like to come back online, but let's first hear from Phyllis.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, Phyllis, we hear you. It's very unfortunate that this, we hear you, Phyllis, we're here. We still have you.
Okay, so I was saying a very good evening to the people in Kakuma. I just wanted you to know that Victor and other partners are looking out for you. So to those that I'm talking to, I humbly request you to be on time for our sessions. Feel free to speak to me. I'm here for you. And then please do not lose hope. Wavamuno Ben, thank you for coordinating my lovely, lovely clients. And then please let them know that we need very many sessions before things are okay. And I'm always available. You know, let us set and the team that are working on this case. Please keep on fighting and we'll finally get our people to safety. So let's just be very, very strong. And I just really wanted the people that I'm working with to see the face that they're working with and to see the person that they're working with, and that I love you. And I'm very sorry that you have to go through these things just because you're LGBT, and that I will always be here for you. That is all I wanted to say. And thank you so much, Victor, for this opportunity. And I wish you a lovely, lovely evening or day.
I know,
Sawa, but I'm here.
but thank you so much, Phil. Thank you so much for coming out to
Got
help.
you guys.
Thank you.
I got you guys.
All right, cheers.
All right.
Yes, Phyllis is one of our team. She's part of the team of counselors that we have, and we still call upon those who are willing to help. You know, offer your services, therapists, free of charge to our refugees. You've heard they need more sessions. When you hear the stories from these therapists, they will not talk about their clients, you know, specific clients, but they are saying the damage is huge. The damage is huge. The kids have watched people cutting others. People are going crazy. But I really thank all of you counselors out there. I will not mention your names because I'm not sure if you want them to be mentioned. I will not call, send a shout out. But I thank you so much for what you have done. And again, those who are helping us financially so that we buy food and take people to hospital. You've had 60 plus people have been to hospital. I thank all of you. The latest donations, $500 came from Jacob Robishaw Gallery in New York City, who were connected to us by Babidi Reila, and then also to Mali. Actually, one of the counselors has given, I think, $400. And we thank you, all of you, those who gave in the past, Rebecca Drum, Babidi Reila, Malaika, Ken and your networks, Tavi and the networks in Maryland and everywhere. Those who have given, Hillary Taylor from Uganda, based in Boston, an ally. I thank all of you for being there for us. This evening here in the US, I'm going to start a GoFundMe page that the refugees have said is okay for me to start because I need to get more resources for them. I'll start it up, and I request you all to chip in. Even if it's $5, it goes a long way when it comes to life in Kakuma Camp. Even with funding, we still get them one meal a day. Thank you very much. Kakuma wanted to come back. They're here. Stephen Sebuma, I'll be calling you, darling. After your colleagues in Kakuma, they asked that they come back online. And Purity, I'll bring you back if you're still around. But I implore you to take some rest. Yes. Yes, please.
Yes, Victor.
Yes, I'm here, and they're here.
Network.
Yes, please. Please go ahead. We hear you.
All right. You are breaking a bit. Victor, I'm still on UNHCR. I do not understand their reluctance. Nobody here understands their reluctance. And frankly, even the police are surprised. They're wondering what is happening. For how long will they keep coming to a place until UNHCR does its job? It's very baffling because this is not the first of its kind. LGBTQ plus have been attacked in Kakuma for as long as they've existed here. This would not be the first evacuation. There have been evacuations before this. So why is this not happening? In 2018, December, LGBTQ persons were evacuated from Kakuma for security concerns. Believe me, this is worse than what was happening in 2018 December.
Yeah.
Why would UNHCR believe that this somehow will go away? If this is cancer at stage 4. So it's not going to go away by just ignoring it. They need to rise up and take action. There is no cancer at stage 4 that goes away. Kakuma is at that stage in terms of hating LGBTQ plus persons. In the conditions where we sleep, it's very easy for people to get sick. It's very easy for people to be driven close to insanity. We have a lot of people ailing physically because of the torture and the hatred meted out to us by our homophobic neighbors. But you can imagine, on top of that, we have a lot of psychological pain. The trauma leaves a lot of damage. If we don't die by the pangas and the machetes, we will die of insanity. I don't know if the people out there in the world have an idea how it feels to be trapped in a killing field. You know your enemy is out there and is outnumbering you and is well armed and you're defenseless. The kids that live in our midst, the women that live in our midst, the sick. We have people who are sick from different things. The conditions have exposed them to a lot of things, but we have people who have specific conditions. We have people with hypertension, we have people with diabetes. All these need special care. And from what I'm hearing, yes, you're doing a good job, but your resources probably are not enough. Victor, it's the good news that we have had today. The fact that how did he call it, that fund? GoFundMe, something like that. It would be a life-saving intervention. That's the kind of intervention probably UNHCR could have done a long time ago. But it takes you, an activist, somebody who has seen how the world can hate LGBTQ plus persons, to come up with something like that. I wonder if UNHCR wants to pick dead bodies. If people out there do not help both in sustaining us and in putting UNHCR on pressure, UNHCR might as well come and pick the bodies from here. A lot of people are beginning to lose it mentally. People are being driven to insanity. It's absolutely appalling. If you had an opportunity to walk in Block 13, you would relate to what I'm saying. We beg you, UNHCR, please effect an evacuation. It won't be the first. And I tell you this, if you bring other LGBTQ persons in Kakuma, it won't be the last. You will do another one in the future. UNHCR has done absolutely nothing to change the mindset of the people here. They have hated LGBTQ for as long as we've existed. Why would they not hate us? What have they done to change their mindset? Have they given them civic education? Have they even taught the people in line of service delivery? If you are discriminated against, harassed by people in the line of service delivery, how about a local Turkana here? It's rotten to the bones. The hatred is a lot. We are in the wrong place. And we are not the first ones to be in the wrong place. Our brothers and sisters before have been here, and it was realized they were in the wrong place. We were never meant to be here. It was a misjudgment. It was an error. It's up to UNHCR to prove to the world that they can actually admit that this was an error and correct it, and probably learn from it so that in the future, they do not repeat such a misjudgment. We sincerely hope that somebody out there in UNHCR has the guts to take the right decision. For our sympathizers out there, for the world that is watching, for our brothers and sisters out there, we call on the solidarity of the LGBTQ plus persons. We call on the humanity of everybody else that is following our story. Please, in whatever capacity you can, please help. Please help in whichever capacity that you can. Victor Mukisa, we want to thank you so much for holding our torch, for holding our lantern and shedding light on Kakuma. We are suffering along with our allies. It is terrible. The other day, we met a 52-year-old lady whose life has been shattered just because she associated with LGBTQ persons. There are a lot of victims in Kakuma that have been silenced. It takes a person with the kind of heart that you have to bring this to light. Kakuma has never been safe and will never be safe for LGBTQ persons. It's high time that our mother UNHCR realizes that and saves what is remaining of our children in the LGBTQ plus family. Please carry on the noble job that you're doing in behalf of all these people. You are a hero, and everybody out there, whoever is following this and whoever extends a hand to help, you're our heroes. We call on UNHCR to play the father job, to play the mother job, and save the day. Your resources can keep us alive. Your resources can take us to hospital. UNHCR has the mandate to take us to safety. Remind them of their job. Remind them of their mandate. Remind them of their calling. They have areas, specific risk areas they're supposed to give us protection in. Safe housing, protection from harassment, protection from physical violence, protection from being denied to express our gender. None of this is happening. So what kind of specific risk areas concerning with LGBTI are they providing protection for? Which ones? I actually challenge them to name any. There is nothing in Block 13. None of those areas have they given protection. Please, continue to write UNHCR. Call them, pick up the phone and call them. Let them know you're aware and you're upset with them. Maybe then they'll take action. Thank you, Victor, once again. Please carry on the noble job. Victor, that's from me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hello, Victor. This
Yes,
is
hi.
Nalugwa Josephine.
Yes, Josephine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to talk on behalf of the mothers.
Yes.
We are really suffering back here. We have kids, you know. These kids are really traumatized with the situation we are going through, the attacks, the provokes, the everything, you know, the insults. People do insult us as women. When kids are seeing the slaughters, the blood and all that, these kids are seeing all of that. Just imagine, what generation are we having in the future? Just think about that. And the whole world should think about that, honestly. These kids' future is already sat on. They can't go to school. They don't have any rights. They don't have any right to anything because they are from LGBT families, you know? I'm calling upon the world to think about that. We cannot have anything because we are LGBTIs. The UNHCR abandoned us, you know? Because I'm really wondering, ever since we got the attack, I've never seen any official down here. No, not even one like this. So I'm just wondering, honestly, I'm wondering, that thing is big. It's massive. The whole world at least stood up. How come that the Kenyan officials have not even bothered to come down here to see what really happened? A lot has been happening. A lot has been happening. But they are telling us that they are investigating. What are they really investigating? I'm asking myself, what? They just need dead people? That is when they make a conclusion? I'm asking myself questions. And when you try to call them, they start apologizing. Now apologizing about what? Come and apologize in our faces. Talk to us. At least you talk to people, because we are people, we are really desperate. Honestly, we are in bad shape here. At least you talk to us. We've gone through a lot. We ran from our countries, coming for rescue here. But what we found here is worse. This is a matter of life and death. We are still being attacked. Yes, they told us the police is around. But how can a policeman ask you that you should tell me where you are going so that I get to know? Really? Is that my job? It's the police's job. How many people are you going to accompany? There are just 3 soldiers around, all policemen and all that. How many people are they going to accompany? I'm asking myself that. They told us they're going to talk to these people. The police themselves, they hate us. They don't like us. You know, they're homophobic themselves. How am I sure that they're going to convince the community to accept me? How am I convinced with that? If an official cannot understand that I'm LGBT, I'm this, the one who received me, how am I going to be convinced that you're going to talk to a community member? Victor, it's not that we are not appreciative. I really do appreciate what you're doing. Health-wise, eating and all that. We need all that, yes.
You need to get out of the camp.
Exactly. That's the best solution. I swear. It is the only solution. It is the only solution for the LGBTIs in Kakuma. Because if you can tell me just something minor, a dentist in the whole camp of Kakuma, they don't have a dentist. I've been crying, me myself, it's me, Josephine. I have a cavity. It's now a month. I'm taking painkillers because that's what they prescribed me to have, that I should take painkillers, you know, for a month. Really? I'm asking myself, it was an official from the UN having the same problem I'm having. Wouldn't they get treatment because of the COVID issue? Would it be like that? Honestly, Victor, we have you as our voice. We need many more voices for these people to listen. I'm just begging the whole world to stand up, to come and fight for us. We are going to die from here. We came from our countries, no broken bones, no diseases, those everything that we are having, but we are getting them from here. You know? What is the meaning of that? We have to first die, and then they accept us that, yes, these people were suffering. Is it how it's supposed to be? The UNHCR should come up.
They're hearing.
Because now, honest, the way that guy died, UNHCR. So they just need to lose another person? Is it what is supposed to be? That is how we are supposed to be treated because we are this? The kids, at least, yes. But the world should understand that we have mothers here. We have kids in our midst.
The youngest being 2 months.
What is the future for those kids? We are just calling for help. Please help us to leave this miserable place, to leave this miserable land. Because we are sad. Yes, maybe we don't have broken bones, we don't have injuries on our heads, but inside our hearts, we are hurt. We have injuries on our hearts. We are in pain. We really need help. Please. Please, you need to help us. We need to be reallocated from this place to leave these monsters because they'll never accept us. No, they'll never. We need your help, please. But I just want to thank you for the good work. Thank you.
Thank you for speaking out. And you guys are very brave. It's tough, but you are very brave people. You still do not deserve to be in the situation that you are in. Juliet?
Yes, Victor.
Yeah.
Hi, Victor. We thank you for all what you are doing for us. And we do appreciate for the good heart that God gave you. Victor, the situation here, as Josephine has just said, it's very bad. Some 3 days back, they called me for child protection. I have 2 sons. One is 11 and one is 5. And I got this official who called me and
where
he one of the offices here in Kakuma.
Is that part of UNHCR?
Yeah, I guess, yes. Because it's AWF, child protection, it goes with it, child protection. So I was in the interview and the officer told me that I should accept, and because of the situation these kids are going through, we should keep low profile and they get us somewhere with people who will take care of us and buy us radios and books so that those kids can read, and we keep low profile. And when I asked him that, please tell me, if I accept this and you give me all this you are promising, won't I go to the well and get water, or won't I go to the shop and buy myself something? He said, no, you have to go there, but keep low profile. So I was like, he told me that do the way I'm directing you. So when I asked him, I insisted on asking that he told me that I should do that. Then I told him that what I am, I cannot hide it. Sooner or later they will find out, because they have been finding out, because I also went somewhere very far from home where there are no people, but they still found out about me. So it's like they're trying to put that in our mind to be, it's to change, to forcing us to change what we really.
We lost them. That's Kakuma. You had their call. Sorry, Juliet, that you had to go off, but looks like your connection went really bad. That's Kakuma, still friends in Kakuma Camp, Block 13, still calling on the UNHCR to evacuate them, take them out of that dangerous place where they have been victims of violent attacks, where they do not know what is happening in the next few hours tonight. Now, but still, before anybody goes, because I see people keep going and coming back, please, after this live, wherever you stop, wherever you jump off of this live, we ask you to reach out to UNHCR and talk about what you're hearing and ask the UNHCR to intervene in this situation. They have not, because the refugees do not know of any intervention they have made. I do not know. I have been, you all know what I've been up to. I have written emails and all that. There's no response. And you must know that since the biggest attack on June 19th, the UNHCR has not really engaged those refugees in anything. No questions, nothing. And so we wonder how seriously they are taking this issue. Because even if there was COVID, they have funds. Right now, you're all in your countries, but we are talking to Kakuma. It means Kakuma can get on a video call with UNHCR in Nairobi or wherever, or somewhere up where there is no COVID, and still talk to these people and find out if really they want to investigate. There's still a way. There is a way to get this information from the camp. The attackers' faces are in all the footage that we have. It means they have a way of reaching the attackers. Please evacuate LGBT refugees from Block 13, Kakuma Camp, from out of Kakuma, to places where they can easily be protected, because nowhere is safe. But there are places where a level of safety can be attained. And I request you all to reach out to to human rights organizations and, ask them to intervene on behalf of these LGBT people. Yes. Oh, Anita.
Yes.
Those who don't know, that is our
How
Stephen, who also
How
goes by
are you?
Anita. How are you doing?
I'm not good.
Yeah, what's happening, Stephen? Where are you? Network in Kenya is really not working out very well. We will call when we can. I will call Purity, and then we can. Yes, Purity. Purity.
Thank you very much. Sorry, my network is really bad. I think you can tell that
Yeah.
network in Kenya is really bad, so I had to go to my bedroom. But I would love to tell the world that I was the mastermind behind the LGBTQ refugees that were rescued from Kakuma last year. And we started in 2018, early 2018. Most of them got out of there in December 2018, and we started earlier than that. And there were so many organizations we reached out to. There were so many personalities. There were so many. But a few listened to us until we could always send them all those graphic images of what is happening, until they had to go and do a situation analysis and be on the ground. And most of them were being attacked in Kakuma Camp, whoever went there and wanted to help. Now, I know there are some people who feel like we should keep our profile so that we don't get attacked. But then they should understand that the same community UNHCR sent these people to in Kakuma is the same community they evacuated LGBTQ refugees from Kakuma last year. It's just a year back. I mean, it's between 2019 December, that is like, December 2018 to January. And it was because our noise that they had to listen. And it's because of what they saw on the ground, they had to listen. There were so many organizations. There were so many personalities. There were so many selfish people who didn't want that to happen, because they still also bold the fact that we have to keep a low profile. Keeping a low profile in a country that demonizes and criminalizes who you are is not easy. I hate pretending. When I go in the public, I have to pretend everything. But then there are some things you can't pretend about, because even when you are dressed like the way the world wants you to dress up with or to put on, still there will be something strange about you that somebody else will discover who you are. And I remember talking to people, and I'm like, people, keeping a low profile is not going to help. Because if everybody wanted to keep a very low profile, they would have kept in their countries and suffer there and be massacred.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, keeping a low profile in Kenya is one of those things you have to do. We do that, by the way. I remove my makeup. I remove my everything. I dress up the way the world wants me to dress up in. I get emotional issues every time I have to do that. But let me tell you, that's the reason I chose to keep at home, because still doesn't help. Somebody will be like, you behave like a homosexual. In Kenya, that's exactly what it is. If you ask any human rights activist, LGBTQ human rights activist in Kenya, and ask them what they always tell their community, their own native community, to do, is to make sure they keep a low profile. If I'm a transgender, I remove everything, purity, and embrace Kenneth. Why? Because they're going to be attacked. All don't get out of your own house. There is no house in Kakuma. There is no house in Kakuma. And then there are some people I have had, and that makes me very, very angry, because I have a very bad headache. I have a concussion, actually. I need to go faster because I'm angry. People telling
LGBTQ refugees in Kenya to keep a low profile because there are some more LGBTQ refugees that will be coming to Kenya to seek asylum. Which asylum are you coming to seek when literally what happens in Kenya is even worse than what is happening in Uganda or in East Africa on Great Lakes, and every person feels like Kenya should be the hub of LGBTQ refugees being dehumanized like that. You've seen what is happening in Kakuma. Why would you encourage somebody to come and seek refuge from there? We managed to make noise last year. People were evacuated from there. What again made, the UNHCR or the Kenyan government to feel like LGBTQ refugees would be very comfortable in the same camp they were evacuated from? What made them feel like that is very important for them to go to a camp they had been losing their lives from? Some people think that LGBTQ refugees are not educated or maybe enlightened. Some are not educated. Some of us are actually privileged to be educated. So that means we use our brains to understand that this community isn't respective or respecting who we are. There is no way we can send LGBTQ refugees to the same community. UNHCR, I love them. They are our hope, and I still can't say it. Listening to all those other voices that want LGBTQ refugees to stay in Kakuma is your weakness. Because last year, they told you the same situation. They told you, the likes of Purity, the likes of Moses Mbazira. I have to mention Moses Mbazira in this situation because we're working together, are evil people. Regardless of whatever happened, they got to understand that LGBTQ refugees in Kakuma weren't safe there. That was UNHCR. With all the manpower, with all the education, professionalism, and all that kind of, they have investigators, all that, and we know that. What made them feel like LGBTQ refugees in Kenya should go back to Kakuma camp in merely a year is what I don't understand. It is the same community that you had to use planes. Some people used planes, some people used buses, and that was all funded by UNHCR to get people out of there because fellow refugees were attacking them and the community that Turkanas in Kenya. So what made them feel like right now, it is now even more safer for them? What exactly made them feel like that? Not even a year back. And then they have these, advisors in form of organizations that want people to stay in Kakuma because they are able to create very good reports. They are able to be always online when people are being attacked. For us, we are being attacked. We do not have time to make creative or to think about reports that are so creative that other people do.
Behind you.
And we do not have that time. You have it. But please do not let people suffer like that. The people that you choose to advocate for. I feel so very angry. And I'm going to get a very bad headache tonight. And it should be on record tonight that I'm so angry that there is somebody out there who feels like LGBTQ refugees in Kakuma camp should keep a low profile so that they can create a room for other LGBTQ refugees to come in Kenya. I feel very angry. If we are not safe, I cannot be there telling somebody to come to Kenya and seek asylum from there. I got a concussion in my bathroom last night, I think yesterday, because I had so many issues in my head and I had to sleep down. I have very many issues happening in my head, but I feel so angry that some people feel like it's okay for LGBTQ refugees to come to Kenya and go to Kakuma or stay in Nairobi and get attacked, and we see all that kind of bloodshed. People losing their parts of their bodies. And the people doing that are not even here. I feel very angry. And may our blood one time be counted on some people like you. It will be counted on you. Today you are creative because we do not have a voice, you have it. You have all the time to make very good reports, talk to people in UNHCR and blackmail them and all that, because
And
you know,
LGBT.
yes, using the plight of LGBTQ refugees is what puts bread on your table and your organization, and the only thing you do is either blackmail refugees and make sure that we stay here. I feel so angry. And one day you will pay for the sins you have created against LGBTQ refugees. How dare you? How dare you tell LGBTQ refugees in Kenya and even invite others to come to Kenya when you haven't solved the issue that actually LGBTQ refugees are suffering in Kenya? How dare you? That kind of blood is going to be counted on you if you need more LGBTQ refugees coming to Kenya to seek asylum. And I say this with boldness, with anger, but with pride.
Yes.
That any LGBTQ person out there, because Africa is not safe, most of the countries don't respect who we are. Never choose Kenya as your source of hope. Never choose Kenya to be your source of hope or to run to. Because you lose your ear, you will be attacked. You will never see hope. You will be reduced to a camp. You will be reduced to nothing. And it will be the same thing you're running away from. Never think about that. And anybody who feels like I am saying some kind of lies can even chop off my head, because I feel so angry, because I'm a refugee too. And I'm an LGBTQ refugee, and I'm a transgender. And I'm a transgender refugee. And let me say this for the last time. Not all refugees are actually not educated. I still can repeat, I left my education, 2 degrees, 2 of them, social sciences and monitoring and evaluation. I left them. And even for monitoring and evaluation, I didn't graduate because I had to run away. It is even in my file at UNHCR. But I chose purity. And I will never let anybody tell me that there should be a way I should think about safety in Kenya and feel comfortable here. There is no way. You see my makeup, you see what I'm wearing. These are all donations. I used to work for myself. I'm struggling so much to make sure that I'm very safe. People think that this is, prestige, I'm sleeping well. No, I used to afford all that by myself. Right now, I beg out anybody who is able to safeguard who purity is and her kind of activism to take me to safety. But I came here for safety. I should have remained in Uganda. I came here for safety. There is nobody that is lied to anybody in the world. And I'm making the noise, and it should be the loudest noise I have ever made. Not anybody should ever encourage anybody, any LGBTQ refugee, to seek asylum or refuge in Kenya. Apart from if you are able to lose your arm, your leg, or die, or die, or die. And I have to go because my head is spinning.
Purity. Purity, reach out to Moses, reach out to some people. I can tell that you're not doing well. But thank you for what you do, and we are going to be in touch. I'm so sorry that you're not feeling well, but try to find some rest. Our first responders out there, if you can, please get in touch with Purity. She got a concussion, and it is clear that she's not doing well with the pain in her head. First responders, if you're out there, please get in touch with Purity. She might need us. Moses, if you're there, Anita, please give Purity a call or something, or get there and just be there for her. The call is to the UNHCR to get LGBTQ refugees on Block 13 in Kakuma Camp out of that camp where they are facing very violent attacks. You've all heard what Purity said. These people have been reduced to nothing. If they were dogs or cats or monkeys in Kakuma, they would be valued more. These people have been reduced to that. Not worthy of protection. Seriously, if the reason is that they need to keep a low profile, if one day 2 ethnic groups in the camp started attacking each other, and one is attacking, the majority are attacking the other group because they are very tall, would the solution be you tall ones keep a low profile? Or let's cut off your legs so you become shorter so that they don't notice you? So LGBT people have to give up who they are, become things, no longer themselves. Keep a low profile is the excuse that is being given to a trans woman, to a trans man. Keep a low profile is the advice being given to LGBT refugees who are going insane already, who have been battered terribly on their heads and they really need help elsewhere. Keep a low profile. Really? We will not take that. I call upon all here who believe in justice, in social justice, in equality, in restoring and protecting the dignity of others, to please reach out to the UNHCR. We have petitions going on. We have letters on my Facebook page. We have the letters on the Victor Mukasa show page. We have everything that you need. Write to the UNHCR and beg them, implore them to act and get LGBT refugees out of Kakuma Camp, which is not ready, which is not safe for LGBT refugees. We have heard from Purity. It has happened before. The same attackers were attacking people 2018. And the UNHCR actually had to get people out of that camp to safety by plane, by buses, by whatever was possible. What is it this time that is stopping them? COVID-19? Is that still an excuse for people whose heads are about to, like, who are bleeding? People who are about to die from this torture? That the UNHCR has not yet reached out to the LGBT refugees in the camp because of COVID-19? How come we have on our phones, on the videos, right now they're talking to the world? The world has changed. We can use whatever we have to reach out. If what is delaying is investigation, and I hear investigation has to wait for COVID-19, it's not going now. COVID-19 is not going now because it is here. Should life end? Should we give up on the lives of others? Should we let others just go slice others' bodies without anything being done to them? Nothing stopped and the others left in that kind of a hell? UNHCR, please, we request you to evacuate LGBTQ refugees on Block 13 in Kakuma Camp out of that camp, because the camp is not safe for them. The camp is full of homophobic and transphobic and sexist nationals from other countries. They have been attacked. They have been sliced. We have seen slices of human flesh like this. They have been raped. Their skulls have been cracked. You have the evidence. Why should they still be there? The police is asking them, when are you going to be attacked so that we come and protect you? 3 policemen are supposed to protect an entire area and escort everybody to where they are going. 3 policemen. We have been polite, we have been loud, we have been demanding, we're begging. Yes, because the only thing we have are our voices. We do not have the resources. We could fly them out of there. We do not have the movement passes. We could get them out of there, because we get it. We understand that they are not safe. It is obvious to us that they are not safe. It is visible that they are not safe, but we do not have what it takes to take them out of there. So we are using our voices. And we are begging. We are losing our pride. We are begging. Please take LGBTQ refugees out of Kakuma Camp, and all those that are telling a story to the UNHCR that these people are lying. Please, you need to stop this. Then the UNHCR, if in order for you to be just and act justly in this issue, now that you've not talked to LGBT refugees since the major attack on June 19th, it is time for you to reach out. You have evidence that we have submitted. Prove us wrong that they have lied. Prove us wrong that they haven't been cut. Their heads, the x-rays are lying to us. Prove us wrong that the men that we see in those videos are not the ones who attacked them. I thank you all. I'm starting a GoFundMe page to collect funds for the group in Kakuma. I have been collecting funds from friends all this time, and I thank all of you who have contributed. Aliyah Malaika, Bavidia, Leila, Glenifer, Jik, Tavi, and all their networks, Ken and your network, Mila in Canada. We thank you so much. Hillary Taylor from Uganda, but here in the US, an ally. We thank you so much. The Jacob Robishaw Gallery in New York City, thank you so much for your recent donation. But my friends cannot sustain this. And so I want to start. I'm going to set up a GoFundMe page. I have been blessed by the refugees themselves for this. I have done it before. I have been very transparent and accountable for every cent, and I would like to start it this evening, and I'm going to do it and put it on my page, and we'll ask you all to donate whatever you can, but also share it in all your networks. This money that we are collecting, this money that have been collecting has taken care of 60, I don't remember, 62, 65 cases so far of people in a mission hospital where they have a level of dignity given to them or restored in them, where they take care of them with minimum judgment, where they have taken care of all the injuries that they have received. That money has also helped to buy food for the refugees in the camp. It has also helped to buy a first aid kit for Block 13 in Kakuma Camp, and that's why you saw the last attacks. They couldn't take them to any hospital, but rather they took care of them themselves. We still need a lot of resources. Some kids are sleeping outside. These men are already sleeping outside. They don't have blankets. Their property has been robbed of them by those attackers. Like, they have lost a lot. But as we wait for the UNHCR to act and all the human rights organizations to chip in, we ask you, I ask you, I'm setting up that GoFundMe page today, this evening, so that you can put whatever you can on that page for the refugees. They can tell you that almost on a daily basis, I send an average of US dollars since June 19th. And that is what they're using to do all the work that I'm talking about. But my friends cannot sustain this. My few handful of friends who have given cannot sustain it. And I know that if we work together, we can actually get some resources to help out in Kakuma Camp in the time being. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. You have been amazing. Thank you for following. Please keep writing. Keep writing to the UNHCR, write to any international human rights organization that you know, write to Amnesty International, write to Human Rights Watch, write to Kenya Human Rights Commission, ask them to investigate, write to Outright Action International, write to OMCT in Geneva, write to your organizations in your countries. Tell them to amplify this voice. Tell them that the UNHCR has what the refugees have submitted as their reports. What is the next step? The refugees have spoken. The refugees have gone through me and others to submit their testimonies to the UNHCR. I can confirm that the UNHCR in Kenya has those reports. Then what? Please talk to everybody to talk to the UNHCR. People are dying. They died already. Their souls are dead. Their spirits are dead. Their minds are fucked up. Excuse my Japanese. Yes, they are. But we cannot wait them to drop dead. So let's act. This is a cry from the closet. It's a dedication to all those LGBT people out there who feel alone because they're in the closet. It's a dedication to refugees in Kakuma Camp, Block 13. You don't have to go back to the closet. You cannot hide your transgender nature if you're in Kakuma. It's just like tall men in Kakuma Camp cannot pretend to be short. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, why can't I be like them? Can't I truly be myself? Which time everything was so different.
Thanks, everyone. Big up to 77 Woman, Anita. Gio again, Ross. I greet you. Peter Ernest, Henry, you're so silent. What's happening, Henry Bugembe? Praise Zaina, thank you for your support. Bashir and your team, you are amazing. Naomi Rovindana, I greet you. Grace Wia Ferrero, thank you for the heart. Lenny Sonke, Lexus William, Anne Marie, thank you all of you for being here. All our allies, Machiganda, Hasifa, Hillary Taylor, I greet you. The Jacob Robishaw Museum Gallery, Jacob Robishaw Gallery in New York City, thank you for $500 that you get towards the refugees in Kakuma Camp. We thank you for getting on board. Sandy, Mariagan Cindy, salute, greet you. Maki Hill, Purity, I hope you're getting some support on the phone. I greet Honorable Mande. I greet you. I greet all of you. Enjoy. Patricia Namiar, thank you so much for standing for justice no matter who. You are one of those human rights defenders that I know will stand for the human rights of anybody. And that is what all of us should do. Hudson Semper, my son, I love you. I've been closet is not a good place to be. And again, to the UNHCR, I would like to just tell you that when we tell a transgender person to pretend not to be trans so that they are safe, it's like telling a tall man to pretend to be short. It's like telling a light-skinned person who was born that way to pretend to be dark. It is like telling somebody who was born with 6 fingers to cut off one of their fingers so that they can fit in. It is like telling somebody who was born with a big foot that if they cut off that big foot, they will be accepted. What you're asking them to do, and all those reporters, those who are giving reports to the UNHCR, and that kind of recommendation that LGBT people, their identities, it is difficult for them to just keep in their profile, to stop being who they are because we need safety. If tall people were attacked in the camp, we would protect them. There's no way you can be shorter if you're tall, unless you cut your legs off. And that's not a good solution. This is how we are. It's who we are. We cannot change certain things. If we could change certain things, nobody would subject themselves to that kind of beating. If changing that is just a simple thing, nobody would subject themselves to living in this strange country, United States of America, where I live, where I face my own issues. If I could just pretend to be different and stay in my home Uganda. There are things that cannot be changed. There are things we cannot pretend about. And this closet that Brian Bryan's singing about, it sucks. Please get LGBTQ human rights, LGBTQ refugees out of Kakuma Camp, which is not safe for any LGBT person, at least for now. Thank you. Cheers to everybody. Adios. Love to you all.